I'm standing now in the chapel at Compton Verney in the midst of a brand new installation by artist Yulia Mahr, Speaking in Dreams. In the chapel, which is a very rare surviving example of a building designed by Lancelot Capability Brown. It's a space that we haven't ever before used to show art as part of the programme, so it's tremendously exciting to be able to work with Yulia to show Speaking in Dreams as the first intervention in this space.
So I wanted to make an immersive art installation that really feels like you're sitting in the very heart of a poem. I really wanted to give people that space so that you come inside and you yourself are participating in the piece, and the chapel is participating in the piece, and all the individual art pieces are part of this poem. It's such an evocative building with such a storied past, and I really wanted all of that to come into somebody's experience of sitting here. You know, I think we rarely get a chance to just sit and experience something, and it felt to me incredibly important to create a space where we can do that, where we can not necessarily have to come to conclusions, not necessarily have to be reactive, but can actually take time to just ponder. I've used minimal elements, but I'm trying to talk about things of great complexity, and the crows come into that. They're part of a folkloric tradition, worldwide actually, about portent and warning. And below we have something which is possibly a dead planet, possibly an amorphous shape. I really wanted to talk about the sapping of life with it, and the warning of the sapping of life, and what happens, and the draining of colour, the draining of individuality. And so this is my crow warning against that. So the cameras that I use aren't really cameras at all. They're these huge kind of thermal imaging systems. And the reason I'm using these is because originally they were used by the military. It's a military company that develops them, in fact. And I was very interested in, about 2010, I was working in visual anthropology, but I'd also had my own background crossing borders, and I wanted to look at these cameras again, which really are about dehumanizing individuals and about grouping people together in clumps without any specifics to who they are as a human being. And I wanted to change that. I wanted to use the camera to create something beautiful and poetic instead, something that involves a very human experience of connection. The photographic pieces are in some ways describing a hiding. Both the main images, they're curled, the women are curled as the ball is curled in on itself. And in that case, there's still life there, but there's very much an attempt at self-preservation, an attempt to hide, an attempt to block out what's going on in the world. I suppose that in our age of anxiety, that's the risk, is that we risk going in on ourselves and actually stopping looking out generously, humanely towards other human beings. And what does self-preservation take, really? And so it's about feeling more than anything else. The audio is really important for me. There's a choral element, an 8-minute choral section. And the choral section is very simple, but it really allows you to sit in the space and bring it all together and kind of take it from the individual pieces into something more global, a feeling of connection, a feeling of hope. That intercuts with the beating of wings. So we have 3 layers of wing beating, which I wanted to transform so it sounds almost like thunder, distant thunder. And so together it forms a 16-minute soundscape that repeats itself over and over.
It's a space which has many histories woven into it. It's also a space of a unique sort of calm. It's no longer used for religious ceremonies, but still has this incredible aura, a very unique sort of presence within it. And that's something which comes through really strongly in Yulia's work and in the installation. This is the beginning of a multi-year relationship, collaboration with Yulia. Next year in 2026, we will be working on a new body of work that spreads out into the landscape at Compton Verney. So thinking beyond the chapel and expanding out into our landscape, our ancient woodland, and we're really excited to see how we work together to develop this collaboration.
You don't have to live in the real world all the time, and I think now we're so hyper-real with everything. Everything has to be hyper-fixed, everything has to be hyper-verifiable, and actually we've lost something in that. We've lost this wonderful communal building of stories. This is a poem, this is a dream. It's not a statement.